stops holding the budget hostage to non-budgetary items. I don't know the answer to that because I feel that we have a governor right now who doesn't really care about people and doesn't have a connection at all to anybody who's suffering. When he says that this is short-term pain for long-term gain, I don't think he has any clue what short-term pain means. I mean, he's never one day, not 1 hour, had to be in the shoes of somebody who's experienced pain. So these are the things that motivate me to be your next comptroller. You know that the current comptroller was handpicked and appointed by Governor Rauner. She herself has said that she is proud to be his wingman on his budget. These are not my words, they're hers. Proud to be his wingman on a budget that is decimating families across the state of Illinois. A turnaround agenda that is more like a turn upside down agenda. He's shaking people, wanted to shake up Springfield when he talked about running for governor, and frankly, when he's shaking up our social service providers, safety net providers, the most vulnerable and the poorest people in our state. And I don't know if that's by design, frankly, because you'd like to think that nobody could really truly be that bad of a poor human being, but you gotta wonder. It just doesn't make any other sense otherwise. And our current comptroller, as his proud wingman, has had to be sued by the courts and threatened to be held in contempt of court before releasing payments to the most vulnerable. Senior citizens who are developmentally disabled, folks that can't even go to the restroom or clean themselves or eat on their own. Early childhood education service providers to children with disabilities as well. I mean, we have a governor who cut autism funding and announced the cuts on World Autism Day. This is who we're up against. And our comptroller, instead of doing what I truly believe Judy Bartopinka would have done, even as a Republican, I honestly believe that if she were alive today, she wouldn't be going along with the program. She'd be saying, this is wrong. We have to take care of our seniors. We have to take care of the children. And certainly the first and foremost that we have to look out for are the developmentally disabled. And so our comptroller, rather than doing that, and rather than like trying to get all of the adults in the room to act like responsible adults, is just being a quiet co-conspirator and having to wait until the courts tell her, you either act or we're going to put you in jail. That's completely shameful, it's unacceptable, and it needs to change. And so I can assure you that I will not be a quiet co-conspirator. I will stand up and push back and fight on behalf of working men and women in the state. By that I mean labor, who is clearly under assault by this governor. Everything that's happening to the social service providers right now is because of his desire to eradicate labor, organized labor in the state of Illinois. And it's so wrong on so many levels, but I won't sit by quietly. I will be a strong and independent and outspoken advocate on behalf of the people of this state. I will champion that banner for labor, and I will absolutely call him out for every single person that he tries to hurt in our safety net and everywhere in between. Now, I have a 3-year-old son at home. He's the light of my life, as you can imagine, all of you that have kids or grandkids. I also have an 80-year-old mother who just moved in with my husband and my son and I. And thankfully, she's still okay health-wise. And I joke around that she's so okay, she'll drive 200 miles for a good sale, right? Yeah, tell her to stop that. But thankfully, she's good, but I have to think about her later years, right? And so we're planning now for her to have the rest of her life surrounded by a loving family with 2 things that make a difference in the quality of someone's life. Security, right? Security and dignity, certainly in your elder years. Those are 2 things that motivate me to work hard on behalf of my mom. Certainly when I see my 3-year-old, I think about the whole world is ahead of him and his future. And that's just indicative of the same thing you feel when you see your little ones. And so I'm fighting on behalf of those folks. And every day when I wake up, I know who I'm fighting for. And every night when I go to bed, I'm thankful that they're there, and I thank God when we wake up that we're still there to fight another day. But I promise you that I'm going to be thinking of my family, which is just representative of yours, as I take on this monumental fight. Because even though Leslie Munger is the comptroller, it might as well be Bruce Rauner, because he's the one who controls the checkbook right now, not your supposedly independent comptroller. I will bring that independence back to that office, and I look forward to being able to tell the governor that the buck stops here with me in my office, not in his. And I really do feel that I'm eminently qualified to deal with the governor and his personality because I have a 3-year-old toddler. and he has been trying my patience like you have no idea. And every day lately, it's been no eat, or no whatever. You pick the topic, right? It's no. He wants his way, and he tests us every single day with that, like, very stubborn, I mean, he's super cute, unlike the governor, but that stubborn, you know, just will to have it his way, and he only knows what a little 3-year-old mind knows so far, right? He doesn't know that his way is not in the best interest of the household, and more importantly, in his best interest. So having had really good, very current experience dealing with a temperament of that nature, a stubborn willingness to not always actually want what's best, is that sometimes I have to say, Mommy knows best. And I'm looking forward to actually putting my foot down with this governor and telling him to act like a 3-year-old, because truthfully, I've gotten further with my 3-year-old kind of getting it than the state has gotten with this governor. So you have my commitment. I'm not very tall, I'm only 5'3", but I'm not a shrinking violet. And I'm looking forward to standing up to him because it's long overdue. And I'm excited about not just going out there and campaigning for myself as comptroller, but I'm super excited and thankful that Senator Dan Biss decided not to run in this primary and has gotten behind my candidacy, because together we're going to be so much more powerful and ready to take on the general election Republican current comptroller than we would have having had a bloody divisive primary fight. And that's the kind of effort that we need as Democrats. We need to make sure that this election, not a single one of us stays home, and that we come out and vote for every single Democrat from the top of the ticket to the bottom of the ticket. That every single election this cycle on the Democratic side should be seen as a referendum on this governor. And if we don't send that message, if we play it safe, I don't really know, I don't really like that person. This time, whether you like him or not, we need to be voting Democrat. Because we need to send a message to this governor that this is just a precursor of what's to come in 2018. And he can have more money than God. But you should view these fights, this election cycle, as a David versus Goliath, and we know who won there. So anyway, I want to thank you for having invited me today to be out here. I was in LaSalle County yesterday. I was in Peoria, made my way to Springfield, came back to Peoria, and then today went to church in Peoria, and now here, and we'll be headed over to Bloomington, Illinois tonight to talk about, I get to get the keynote at the Roseville dinner. So very excited about all of that, but most importantly, just getting to meet people in Illinois across the state, and everywhere we're going. I mean, I really truthfully am not lying to you when I tell you that the reception has been great, and people are getting it. And while the governor, like in his mind, he's like short-term pain for long-term gain, the reality of it is people are now starting to feel that pain, and the only thing he's doing is galvanizing us like we've never been brought together before. So hopefully we learn from that. We don't just talk about it. We get out there and take a decisive action to begin to elect every Democrat, and in my case, this will be a referendum on the governor, make no doubt about it. It's the only position that he handpicked that personally is accountable to him and gave him control of the checkbook. That same checkbook is what's strangling the safety nets and the middle class right now, and we need to take that power away from him and put it back where it should be, which is with those same people that need services. So thank you for your support. I need you to go out there and work hard on behalf of every Democrat, and know that I will be doing the same thing, traveling the state, not just campaigning for my